Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Jill. Good afternoon, Andre. Good morning. Can you hear us, Fernando?
Good evening, Eti. I can hear you. Good morning, Jill. Good evening, Andrea.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Jill. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thanks. Thanks for coming. Yes, Fernando and Jill, do you have questions that you would like to ask this morning? I see here also Charles is coming. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, Charles. It's afternoon in England. Thanks. Yes, Fernando, Jill, any questions? Or Charles?
I don't have any just yet.
Thank you. I just like to open with what Fernando asked yesterday. Fernando was asking about Yom HaShishi, the sixth day, the only day in the first chapter of Genesis that the Bible mentions the letter He before it, because as Fernando said yesterday, Yom Echad, one day, second day, Yom Sheni, third day, Yom Shlishi. Only before the sixth day, we have the He as a potential, the known one, Yom HaShishi, the sixth day, which is known, Yom HaShishi. And this is not an accident, because before it, one second, we're managing microphones here, one second, thank you. Because in the term Yom HaShishi, the sixth day, there is a seal of the name of the Tetragrammaton, because the first letter of Yom is the letter Yod, the potential, the 10. The second word Hashishi starts with the letter He, or value of 5. And then we continue with the next two words of the second chapter, Vayechulu, completed, Vav 6, Hashamayim, the heavens, He 5, and then we have the complete name of the Tetragrammaton. So there is a seal, like a writer writes a story and he seals the story or the letter with his name. The creation is sealed by the name of the Tetragrammaton. This is the reason that we find He before the sixth day. Did I answer your question, Fernando, from yesterday?
Yes, Eti. Yes, I thank you so much. And during the night, we talked about it a little bit as well with friends, and it's a deep topic because we always have the signature of Hashem in our creation. You know, wherever you look at, it's already there, the name. And it seems that the name was only unified in the sixth day, right?
Yeah.
Between the 6 and the 7, because we have this role of the man, right? The role of good deeds, maybe the role of to unify the name. If you could say the importance of the humanity to unify this name in creation, if you could say something, if it makes any sense to you.
Shalom.
Shalom, Isaac.
Yes, this is Isaac from India. Yes,
Good to hear.
my yes, my question is actually, your teachings are wonderful. So if you can put that in a PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, and display it, we can follow it very clearly. Instead of just the audio, if you give us the presentation and pass on the presentations to us, we'll be able to follow it very clearly. So that's my humble request.
Yes, Eti, your microphone is closed. Isaac, we are trying to stream some a whiteboard. It
Yeah.
is on. It's been streaming on YouTube. What while we are talking here, the whiteboard it's been streaming in YouTube.
Okay. All right.
It seems that
Okay.
Eti
So
has something
yes.
some difficult maybe with the
Uh-huh.
connection.
Okay. All right. Thank
But
you.
it's good to hear you, Isaac. Whatever you please
Yeah.
just say.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hello, Andre. Good afternoon. I'm waiting for others to join. It seems that they did not get um, an invitation to speak. We have to move. Fernando, thank you for coming because the line was disconnected. Can you hear? Fernando, Jill, Charles, can you hear? Thank you, Jill. Can you hear?
I can hear you now.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we were disconnected. Thank you. I just did not hear the few last sentences of Fernando because the line disconnected. If you could please repeat and maybe you can share with us how was the Zohar lesson last night in Brazil? Fernando, can you hear? Jill, do you hear Fernando?
I can't hear him. I can see that he's a speaker, and I can see his mic is open, but I can't hear him.
Okay, I'll try to as well to see in a second. Fernando, can you hear us? I just see that he is like sending messages like 100, but I don't hear his voice.
Yeah,
Fernando, you see as well?
Yeah, I see that he's sending messages, but I can't hear him.
Mhm. Okay, I also can't at the moment. Did you manage to hear what he said before we were disconnected?
He was talking to Isaac. Isaac
Hmm.
had a question about the presentation, and he had told him that it was being streamed over YouTube with the whiteboard.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope that Fernando can hear us because it's the first time that it is happening that the line is disconnected. And I would like also to speak about the difference between the second day and the third day. If you hear Fernando, please give me a little a sign that I could connect to him back because at the moment I cannot hear him. In the second day, we read that the water was separated by the firmament. There are water above the firmament and there are water under the firmament. And in this day of creation, here, in this day of creation, God is not saying that it was good. This is the problem that is in the text. God does not say on the creation of the second day that it was good. And now the question is why? Fernando, can you hear?
Yes, it.
Fernando,
I
thank you so
was
much.
I was hearing. Now Andrew managed to give us the microphone. I think Charles and you can speak now as well.
Thank you, thank you. So I did not hear how was the because we need to bridge like few things. So I did not hear how was the Zohar session yesterday, last night in Brazil.
It was great,
Uh,
Eti. It was great. We talked about, and your classes was amazingly helpful. We talked about our conversation on the sixth day, the whole of man, to unify the word, the name of the higher, the Yod Hey, the Yod
yes,
K, with the
yes.
Vav Hey, and that this is why in the sixth day maybe it's Tov Meod, it's very good, and we talked. It was an overwhelming conversation. It was a lot of ideas and was very very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I was briefly mentioning the creation of the second day. Why in the second day the Bible says, or we don't see the term that it was good. Why in the second day we don't find the term that it was good, only in the third day when the land is appearing. And we were saying that, I mean, I usually share this in the podcast this morning that in the second day there's only water, and in the water we can swim, and it doesn't matter in what style we are swimming. We are in a position which is horizontal. This is the theme of the second day, like a person who is sleeping without a recognition. And only when the third day, when there's a dry land, we can walk or we can stand. There is a recognition. There is a full height of a man. There's a appearance of the spirit. So this is basically why God said, and there's a long conversation on the podcast. People can listen. Why God did not say that it was good on the creation of the second day, because the second day is basically multiplicity, but with no spirit. Only in the third day, when the spirit appears, the dry land, Yabasha, from Lashuv, to return, when we return to the spirit or the spirit returns, and we have unification of spirit and matter, God can say that it was good. But this is just a brief answer to the relation between the second day and the third day. Questions or thoughts?
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Charles, of course.
Still on the issue of creation, I wanted on verse 20, Genesis verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because this is where we find uh, the nefesh chaya
Mm-hmm.
before it was blown to Adam
Mm-hmm.
but this was from the water saying yishretsu hamayim
Mm-hmm.
shechetz nefesh chaya. So the question is about two questions. I wanted to find out what is the relationship between shechetz, because there's the word chatz, which is running, and
Mm-hmm.
chatzon. What is the relationship between running and chatzon?
Mm-hmm.
And then why the nefesh chaya?
Mm-hmm.
Here um, it is from the water, and in Adam it was blown into him. But here it
Mm-hmm.
was just let the water produce.
Okay. Two respected questions, but slowly. The first question was, what is the relation between Yishretsu, yes, Yishretsu and Ratzon?
Yeah, because there's the word Hatz.
Ratz is running,
Mm.
yes, and also Ratzon, the will is in Hebrew is something which is running, cause us to run. We say will in English, but in Hebrew this is Ratzon. Ratzon is from Ratz. When a person has a will or he wishes for something, this is a great motivation. It's something that causes him to run. Is that
Okay.
yes?
Yes, makes sense.
Yes. And now the second question. Can you repeat the second question?
The second question is concerning the Nefesh Chaya,
Hmm.
because in the creation, in the formation of Adam,
Yes.
the Nefesh Chaya is blown into his apav from
Hmm.
Hashem. But here
Yes.
we are seeing the Nefesh Chaya not being blown, but it is like he's saying, let the water.
Hmm. I would.
Uh,
So you're asking what is the difference between Nefesh Chaya? I would like to bring the chapter here to the stream, that people could open the stream here on YouTube and could be okay. There is okay. I see already. There's a verse. Thank you, Andre. So let's see. In verse 20, we see the following. And God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures." Yes, and you see the term nefesh chaya. Yes, in the
mm,
water. And you're
mm,
asking what is the difference between nefesh chaya, which is happening in the water, and to the creation of man in Genesis 2. Yes,
mm,
now I'm asking
mm.
about Genesis 2. So we need to move to Genesis 2 and see the correct verse. In which verse are we speaking?
Uh, after what is the verse when he blows la nefesh chaya into Adam?
Chapter 2, verse 7.
Yeah, I
And the
think so.
Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. Yes.
Mm,
עפר מן האדמה, ויפח באפיו נשמת חיים.
mm.
So you see here in Genesis 2, the blow that comes from above is nishmat chayim. Nishmat chayim.
Yes, it's nishmat chayim. Then it becomes, and he became nefesh chaya.
Yes, there is. God does A, and something B happens.
Mhm.
Do you see the difference? I made a podcast about this. Why there's such a difference.
And now with here,
And now here. So you're asking, why does God blow in Adam nostrils nishmat chaim? Nishmat chaim is nun chet. Nun chet is
Mhm.
what? Chokhmat anistar, the hidden wisdom. Nun stands for nistar, hidden also, and chaim also for chokhmah. This is what God gives. But what the man receives is nefesh chaya, the lower part of living. God gives him the potential, but what Adam becomes is nefesh chaya. And Rabbi Akiva says why there's such a difference, because the verb vayitzer, formed, is written with two yods. Yes, maybe Fernando can write the word Vayitzer. I'll open the concept board and see what problem do we have, because at the moment this is quite abstract. Let's see. I'll try to look at the board. Thank you, Fernando. I see that you are here. Thank you so much. So, what is the problem? The word Vayitzer, and we have also not just a podcast. I wrote a Bible page about it in the summer. Later, after this class, I can put the Bible page about Vayitzer. The problem is that, Fernando, can you take the Vav and the Yod, the two Yods, and can form Aleph of them? The Vav diagonal, can you? Yes. You see, Charles?
hello.
Charles, do you see Fernando is drawing on the whiteboard? Do you have a laptop?
No, I'm on my phone.
You're on your phone. So
Yeah.
maybe when you will see this later on the
Mhm.
laptop, the word Vayitzer, and he formed, is written with the letter Vav. Do you see the text now in Genesis 2:7?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is good. Two words.
with two yods. So if we take the letter Vav and the two yods, we can form the letter Aleph. Are you familiar with this? Or it's the first time that you see this? How do we create the letter Aleph in Hebrew?
Line and two dots.
Yes, line and two dots, meaning very good. Bill. We take the Vav, we put it diagonal like a letter, and then we take the two yods or the two dots and one dot or a hand we put on the upright, another dot on the lower left. And this is how we create the letter Aleph. Is that clear, Charles?
Yeah.
Yes. So from the word Vayitzer, Vav, Yod, Yod, Tzadik, Resh, we can form the Vav and the Yod, we can create the letter Aretz, Aretz, which is earth. So you see on this word, Rabbi Akiva says Vayitzer, and he formed, it means from Tsar. Tsar is narrow. So God created or formed Adam to carry the soul, Nishmat Chaim, and he blew in his nostrils Nishmat Chaim. But the man came with Nefesh Chaya. The potential is that we shall carry the spirit, but what happened? in actualizations that we are in a way starting with a very low liveliness, like in the fifth day. Do you understand?
Mhm.
It would be better if you could see that Fernando is writing on the whiteboard. If you would have had a laptop, or maybe you can play the lesson or the session when you have time, so you can see how Fernando is writing on the concept board. Yes, yes. Maybe I'll look into the Hebrew blog and bring the Bible page which we created in the summer, and it will be easier to share it here with everyone. 1 second. Questions so far? Jill? Here, I share here the Bible page that we created in the summer. You could open, all of those who are attending the stream on YouTube, you can open the Bible page, which in a way manifest Charles' question. Charles, do you see something? Are you on Slack? Charles,
Yeah.
you on Slack? So I can share it on Slack and you can see the Bible page about Vayitzer, and he formed. On this verb, and he formed, Vayitzer, in Genesis 2:7, Rabbi Akiva speaks a lot. How in this word we can see already the potential and in a way the difference between the potential and the actualization in the word Vayitzer. Because we find in the word Vayitzer the letters Tsar, Tzadik, Resh, narrow, like we find them in Egypt, Mitzrayim, and like we find them in Tzua. Tzua is the form, Tzadi and Resh. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Eti.
yes.
So it seems that we have a Nefesh Haya, that is a lower part, let's say, that
Yes,
we could, it could stands for our ego, maybe, I don't know, or
yes, yes,
and we have a potential that is the Neshama Haim,
yes,
and as is something in plural, we see that these two words Haya and Haim are the same word, but one is in the singular and the another one is in the plural
yes. It's very
form.
good. Yes, it's very good what you say, Fernando. It's brilliant.
And it's a question. it, um, how could we actualize the potential that we have, that is this Neshama Haim,
It's a
in
very good
our
question
daily life, you know?
in daily life. So again, let's look into Chaim, the word Chaim. Chaim is written with 4 letters. Chet, Yod, Yod, Mem. Chaim is written with 4 letters. The value of Chaim is 68. Is that so?
Yeah.
Chet is 8. Yod is 10. So we have together, yes, so you already wrote 68. The value of Chaim, life. Life in English, we say it's one word. In Hebrew, Chaim, it's plural. And the value of Chaim, life in Hebrew, is 68. Now, the value of Chaya, living, is 23. Yes? And what is the distance between Chaim and Chaya? Chaim, which is the general, the spirit, and Chaya, which is the singular. Um,
45.
yes, yes. The difference or the gap between Chaim which is in the general, the soul life, the spirited life, and our personal or private life, which is Chaya, is 45. 45 is the value of the word Adam. Only when we ascend from the animal part of us, because many aspects of our lives are very similar to animals. We eat, we drink, we sleep, we dream. Also animal dream. We multiply like animals. So what is the difference? The difference is that we can speak, we can communicate, we can feel compassion to a person who is not close to us. We can communicate on a large scale. This is the difference. So how do we bridge the gap between like isolated or egoistic or self-centered life with the soul? By being human. So Adam can bridge the animal part in us to the divine part of us. This is the bridge. By us being human, we can bridge the gap between the finite and the infinite. Is this clear?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Eddie,
Yes,
you spoke of the difference between us and the animals is communication.
yes.
What would we say to the issue of the donkey of Balaam which spoke, or even the Nahash which was speaking before?
1 second, 1 second. There is a question. 1 second, Charles. 1 second. There is a question here, or there's a comment on the stream, and I would like to integrate it as well. So 1 second. Awakened says, I give thanks to the Most High for leading me to this channel. This is so pure and powerful. Thank you, Awakened. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. And Charles, can you ask, please, because I would like to integrate your question as well in the stream.
I was saying when we have looked at Chaya Chaim,
Yes, the relation between the two words, slowly, Charles, because at the moment that we are speaking, Fernando is sometimes writing and people are listening on YouTube, so we have to be very clear and slowly moving between concepts and ideas, because for some people it's the first time they are exposed to the text. So slowly. So you ask about the difference between Chaim, life, and Chaya, singular. Is this the question?
no, when you gave the answer concerning, I mean, the mathematical aspect to Adam, which is 68 minus 23, we had 45. Then
Yes,
because we were trying to look at the difference between Chaya and Chaim,
yes,
and we came to realize that the difference between the animal party and Adam is communication, which is speaking.
yes,
And then, I mean, my mind just moved to the Nahash, the snake, the beginning,
yes,
because the snake spoke to Eve. And
yes.
also we have that other issue of the donkey of Balaam, which
Slowly, slowly,
which spoke.
slowly, 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 slowly. So, since we were saying that the difference between animal and human is the ability to speak, yes,
Yeah.
you thought about the serpent. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and what is the thought that was behind? You ask yourself also, the serpent spoke. So what is the difference between the serpent speaks and the human speak? Yes?
Yeah.
What is the difference between them? What is the value of a serpent? Let's
358.
1 second, let's write the word serpent in Hebrew. Serpent. I try to see Fernando's pen. 1 second. We have to follow that everybody will be on the same page. Nachash. Nachash is a serpent. The value of Nachash Nun is 50, Chet is 8, and Shin is 300. So we have 358. This is the value of Nachash. Good. Now, a full circle has 360. Yes. Thank you. Fernando is writing now on the board. I speak also to the people on YouTube. Serpent, Nachash, in Hebrew has the value of 358. Now, a full circle has, or completion, has 360 degrees. Is that right?
Mm.
So what is the difference between 358 and 360?
2.
So the serpent was speaking in a double tonning. So the serpent in us can speak in a double tonning. It can seduce, it can create commercials, it can push on people many things. But the divine speech in us can unify. Humans, we have both aspects. We can speak in a double tongue, or we can speak unified speech. Is that clear?
Yep.
Good. Now we shall give another person to ask questions. There are more questions here. 1 second. Yes. Fernando, it seems that you wanted to say something. Did you?
Just that the structure of Nahash is the same as the Nefesh that we were talking before.
Yes. Yes, very good. Can you, I will open thank you. The structure of Nahash, Nahash is a serpent, 3, 5, 8, has the same structure as Nefesh, the lowest part of our being. The Nefesh is located in the liver, the lowest part. So it's the same structure. Yeah. But also Safa language. Safa, Fernando, can you please write Safa language? Shin, Pei, Hey. 1 second, I will move the whiteboard. Language, Safa. Maybe I'll write it here. I'm sorry, did I? Okay. Maybe I'll put here
I
another.
don't know why my pen is
Is
writing
that
without
right?
I'm pressing. Oh, just look at this. I don't know why.
Okay, let's move it. Yeah. I'll try to write here Safa. I'll make a pen bigger because we are moving here together on the board. 1 second. Is your pen working, Fernando?
Yes, I can write now. Yes.
Yes.
It's Shin, Pei, and Ein.
Shin,
Is that
Shin,
right?
Pei, and Hey.
And
Shin,
Hey.
Pei, and Hey. Shin, Pei, and Hey. Safa is a language. Shin again has the structure or the value of 300. Shalosh, like 300, which is 3. Pei is 80 or 8, and Hey is 5. You see, it's the same structure. Yes. Thank you so much, Fernando. Thank you so much. Sometimes when we have like bitter mood, we in Hebrew we say mar nefesh, bitter mood like mar nefesh. So it brings like also speech from us. So you see, there is a structure to everything. Also the word lashon, which is a tongue or language, also has the same structure. And we have another friend here coming, is Kevin. Good morning, Kevin. I hope you can hear us.
Sorry for being late.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We were discussing the structure of language, Safa, and Nachash, serpent, and Lashon, which is a tongue. And all of them have in common is the structure of 3, 5, and 8. This is also Fibonacci numbers. It's the
Thank you.
same as you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes.
Shalom, Kevin. Iti,
Shalom, friends.
Shalom.
Shalom.
May I ask you something?
Yes, yes.
In the scheme of the tree of life, we have the middle structure, let's say. We have
Yes.
3 structures that we could say I will draw here. The intellect, that is the 3 supernal spheres, right?
Hmm?
And we have 6 middle spheres
Yes.
that is related with emotions, maybe, or sentiments, or speech.
Hmm.
And we have one last sphere that is related with action. Is that right?
This is right. Yes.
Okay. So it seems that the whole of man is to unify the intellect with the action, maybe.
That's correct. That's correct.
And my question is, it seems that in these 6 middle spheres we have the speech, and we have also the sentiment, the what we feel, the feeling.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you about because it's related with the heart, with the love, with these ideas. If you
Yes.
could say something about the whole of the human, because it's exactly what we were talking about neshama and the formation of this soul through sentiment and not only through action, through through what we feel. But
Yes.
I don't know if I make myself clear, but
Yes. Because it's good what you're saying, because it brings us to the gap between Chaim, life, and Chaya, the animated part of us. The bridging between the soul, our potential, and our actions. The bridging point is the heart, like you say. It's also the speech comes from there, and our sentiments or emotion to bridge the potential between the mind and our action, we need the spirit of the heart. Is that clear? That the heart is the is a key component here? Fernando?
Yes, but
So, yes,
it makes
well,
me remember the Psalms that the King David asks for a pure heart
yes,
to receive a pure heart.
yes. So, what are you asking is how to connect the heart when the heart is pure. The more the heart is pure, the more we can connect the intellect with the action. Is that this is what you're asking for?
Yes, what you think about this, or and how could we do this in our life?
To notice where the heart is, to try to the heart is hidden. The heart as an organ, it's hidden. We don't see the heart. And also the heart is the center of our body. So it's hidden and it's in the center. And to listen to the heart, the more we listen to the whisper of the heart, the more we can connect the logos or the thinking with our actions. Because this is what the hearts want, to connect. The center is always connecting. Why do we say the term communication center? Also, heart in Hebrew is lev, lamed bet, and lamed is 3 and bet is 2, and together they form the 5, the full potential, the full potential. And the temple of a human being is his heart, is our heart. Temple is not something which is um, made out of huge stones 2000 or 3000 years before our time. Our temple dwells in the heart. The temple is the things that we care for. All those things that we care for and are hidden, this is the temple in ourselves. It's not external, it's inner, it's hidden. And why do we say to listen to the heart? Because the whisper of the heart is changing all the time. It's not something fixed. So the more we listen, the more we tune, like once used to be those radio to, how you call it, before the digital radio was like analog. You have to take the button, it was round, and you have to find the scale on the scale, the transmission. You have to move it slowly to find a good transmission. So the heart is always communicating. And when people do not communicate, they have heavy hearts. They cannot speak. It also blocks their speech, like the stone on the well. We find this in the Bible when Jacob um, runs from his brother to his father-in-law Laban. He sees the well, and there's a stone on the well, and the shepherds, they cannot remove the stone, only when they gather together. And this is a parable of us, that the stone, heavy stone, is sitting on our heart. And only when Jacob comes, he is the singular person. He removes the stone, and then everybody can drink, the herds, the people, the shepherds, the animals. So we could say that the stone is the hardware that It is blocking the software because the heart is the software. Sometimes rational mind is the hardware. But the software is important. Did I answer your question?
Yes, it's beautiful. Thank you.
The 32 ways of wisdom, Lamed Bet Netivot Chokhmah, as we have them in the mind, they also stream to our heart. And there is a transmission from the mind to the heart. And when the transmission moves to the heart, it is very soft, like you say, it's sentiments and emotions, very, very thin and soft. And it's very important to enable this flow, because this is the key to the right action. Because in the tree of life, we find that the speech and the action is one. In the tree that makes fruit, the tree of knowledge, there's a speech and the action goes to another direction. Like we have a junction, like 90 degrees junction or a conflict. One person goes headed into the wall with another person. This is where the heart is not soft. I hope that I managed to answer your question. It's a very big question. It's the question of our lives. Because when we are in a situation that we're not secure to speak to soften sentiments of the emotions, we speak external, like hardware, like people speak in the world, and because we're not safe. So not in every moment, I'm aware of that. It's a very painful question, that not in every circumstances we can speak this speech of the heart.
And I'm
Yes,
just wondering that it seems that the speech, it's in the middle, it's near to the heart,
yes,
and the action is something lower. It's more akin to the manifested. It's, it's in the liver, right? So it seems that his speech uh, could make more effect, sometimes could change more things in the world than the action.
yeah.
It's difficult to think like this, because we usually think that acting in the world, we are changing the world. But when we look at this tree of life, it gives another importance to conversation and to what we speak, because it seems that what we speak, what comes to the from the heart, is higher than what we act. Of course,
Yeah.
we have to have it unified, but I'm my concern is when we speak bad words, maybe it's worse than doing a bad thing,
They say, yes, they say that a bad turning is Bala Sulam. Rav Ashlag says that uh, from 1,000 people, 999 are dying from, how do you say, gossip? It is killing. I mean, bad words can kill, basically gossip. So you're right. You're right. And Weinreb says that the right speech is not just speech, this is also doing. When God says, Vayehi O, it's not just a speech, this is doing. Speaking is doing. This is what we cannot conceive. We are trained to think that mechanical actions are more important, to drive a car, to start up a car, to drive, to go to the supermarket. All those things are important. But speaking is a very, very high art, and it's speaking is doing.
Yes.
When we speak, we create worlds. Create, yetzira. Yetzira, like the verb formation that we met, yetzira. When we speak, we create worlds. People have more respect to builders that they put stones one next to each other, and then after 1, 2, 3 years we have a building beautiful, and people have more respect to the um, visual or the manifestation of a building, but people have less um, how do you say, respect to the inner palaces that the speech and words and images can create inside of a person's heart or mind or imagination. Something that is seen outside in our eyes of flesh has more value, even money. Look at the real estate situation in the world. I heard something which is inconceivable, that apartment in Tel Aviv in the Middle East cost 42 million euros. You ask yourself, what is this? People have more respect to a stone, the value of real estate, but to the strings of the heart. This is why we have expression of paintings and music, to an artist try to find a way to express all those whispering in the heart that us as human try to hide because it's not cool, and they will think that I'm a soft person. And so, yes, awakened says, yes, I create as I speak. Yes, this is true. This is true. When we speak, we create. We create. Sometimes when not just speaking, thinking about someone at the other side of the world, he can be awake from this thought at night. If you speak of, even think of another person, and in the other side of the planet it's night, it doesn't matter what time, he suddenly start to move in his house, and he's restless because he feels he needs to do something towards a certain direction, and he doesn't know even why, because he was awakened by a thought of another person that sometimes he might not know that he is even exist. Do you understand the complexity?
It's very complex. Yes.
It
It's
is. It
very
is
deep.
complex, but it is very also sensitive, and it's good that you ask this question. It is there. There is importance of conversation, because conversation, siach has the same value like yabasha. Yabasha, dry land, and then we return to the creation of the third day. Dry land, yabasha, has the value of 317. Can you please write it on the board? Yabasha, Yod, Bet, Shin, Hey, Yabasha, Yabasha, Yod is 10, Bet is 2, Shin is 300, and Hey is 5. How much do we have in Yabasha? 10 plus 2 is 12, 317, Fernando?
Yes.
317. And Siach conversation is 318. So, because Yabasha, dry land, plus the one, the origin, we have a conversation. Because if we cannot have this conversation, we are not walking on a dry land, we are drowning. People who cannot have a conversation, they are drowning in time. This is why God could not say about the creation of the second day that it was good, because conversation is a firm ground. It's a solid ground on which we can walk in our mind. It is safe. It is safe. Thank you for writing all of this. You're writing now the word that the awakened one was writing on YouTube.
Yes, let's look at the world. The word.
Yeah, the word
Uh,
abracadabra. Abra is livro, evra. I shall create as I speak. Abra cadabra. Evra, aleph, bet, resh, evra. I shall create. I shall create. Cadabra, as I speak. This is the meaning of the term abracadabra. I shall create as I speak. Evra kedivrei, as the words, Devarim, the fifth book of Moses, Deuteronomy, in Hebrew, Devarim. Davar is a word, like we find in John 1:1. In the beginning was the word Davar. Yes, so abracadabra, Evra kedivrei. I shall create as I speak or as the word is coming. Yes. Abracadabra. Here, I'll try to write it here. Abra, abracadabra. Here. Abracadabra. I shall create as I speak. Yes. Yes. Questions at a moment on your heart, Kevin, Jill?
I'm just really happy to be here today. A lot of this that I've heard today, I really needed to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for participating, for asking questions, for commenting, for drawing, for setting communication systems, for attending this moment. Thank you so much. And you could review it. You can see those conversations that are open. Whenever you have time, you can click on the button and see those conversations. And please write to us if you have any question or a thought or a comment. Feel free to communicate to us. So I would like to thank all of you who came and participated in mind and heart in writing and questioning and pondering. Thank you so much, and we shall meet here tomorrow at the same time.
Thank you, Eti. Thank you, friends. See
Thank
ya.
See you. Thank you so much for writing, Fernando. Thank you so much because it helps me a lot. Because the fact that you are following with the letters, with the writing, I can focus in the thinking itself, in a pure thinking, and it's a great help. So thank you so much.
I thank you, Eti.
So today is the third day, and according to the Bible, in this day the land was created, Yabasha, and today we have learned that what does it mean, dry land or Yabasha? The ability to have a conversation. When we have a conversation, we can express the spirit, we can share the sovereign, we can be like we were intended to be, speaking souls. So, with this conversation of today, I wish all of us to be speaking souls. Thank you so much. Shalom.
Thank you. Shalom.
Thank you. Shalom, shalom.